All right, well, let's move through to introduce Scott Baker, who is waiting there sort of patiently. He is a passionate entrepreneur. In fact, we've known each other for years and years and years. We've just reconnected. We just happen to have been around in the same sort of circles. We don't live back in New Zealand, interestingly enough, too. So we connected some dots and we knew sort of some of the same people that have been around forever in the digital marketing space. But he is a passionate entrepreneur. He is a co-founder of the RevGen Hub. And he calls it, that's your guide to conquering content chaos. So he's not just another marketing guru. He has been, where most of us have been, wrestling with content, thinking about how to turn your ideas into words that actually attracts people and generate leads and customers and clients and all that sort of thing there, and turn your business into something that generates revenue. So he's got a really unique blend of, so business savvy. He's got a real champion spirit, and with the innovative power of this tool, which I saw a couple of weeks ago, or probably more than a couple of weeks ago now. His whole aim with this is to empower business owners to find your voice, not the AI's voice, but your voice. Save a whole lot of time in what you would do in content creation, and focus on building a good, thriving business by using content that is authentic and is with your voice. So tonight, he's here to talk to us about the tool that he's created, why he's created, and that's the RevGen Hub. So let's give Scott a warm round of applause to welcome him to the stage. Welcome, Scott.
Thanks, Nick. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for that great intro too, Nick. Great to be here with you all. Now, let's be honest, running a business, as you said, is no walk in the park. We're all juggling multiple priorities, and sometimes it feels like there's just not enough time to do it all. So let's talk about how to work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to share 3 simple strategies to help you. The first one is create content that grabs attention and actually brings in more sales. The second one is to free up your time so you can focus on what matters. And then the third is become the go-to expert in your industry and attract clients you love to work with. Now, before we dive in, I want to give you a glimpse of what's possible. So let me share a quick video.
In 2 weeks, it's probably been, we've had about 6 or 7 inquiries.
We raised $55,000 in one night on that one event alone.
A lot of jobs at the moment, so it takes a lot, at least 15, 20% growth. You know how we're working on trust, getting customers trust, that's what's happening. Before, I was just a place where you go and get stuff repaired. Now they look at me a little bit differently. Final word in anything to do with their stuff is what they're saying. Yeah, that was a lot for my self-esteem.
We were able to take a holiday for nearly 2 weeks and know that the posts were still going up and it was running consistently and we were still getting inquiries while we were away.
So working with Neil and working with Scott at RevGen, first, you're working with guys who know what they're doing. They know this stuff. And Scott, you were right there with me the whole time that we were putting together the content. And Neil, you were right there, thinking through the logistics of
how much time I now have to do the things I want to do and love doing.
I just knew you guys had handled it. It was like it was a piece of this whole battlefield that we're on that was handled. That was one of the best parts of it. It's handled by really good dudes who know what they're doing and have put their heart and soul into a really great tool and are using it for the greater good.
I don't have to ever worry about creating content, and that is such a relief, a big burden completely off my shoulders.
And I thought RevGen really supercharged us so that we could focus on the thing that's important to us. The performance piece on RevGen was the thing that blew me away. I didn't prompt it. I didn't write into it. You guys literally recorded me talking for 5 minutes. It heard what I was trying to say, and it came back to me right in the lane with what I was hoping it would do. The message was on point, the heart of what we're trying to do, and everything we're trying to do is with heart. It was like meeting, that other person who gets what you're trying to do and shows up and just gives you the thing that you need. And we all know how powerful that is.
Yeah, those testimonials really say it all. So the right content can work wonders for your business. Now, many entrepreneurs have lots of amazing ideas and are great at what they do, but when they try to get them down on paper, it's like pulling teeth. They know what they want to say, but the words just don't seem to come out right. Sound familiar? Well, definitely for me. Now, I know firsthand how frustrating it is to have great ideas, but struggle to express them. And that's why we created RevGen Hub to help you. So you turn your expertise, right, into high-performing content that attracts clients, builds your authority, and frees up your time. Now, my business partner, Neil, and I have been in the trenches as entrepreneurs. Neil built a 7-figure finance business from scratch, and I ran a multi-million-dollar retail business. We've lived the hustle, the late nights, constant juggle of trying to keep up with marketing while also, actually running the business. And today we're going to change that. Now, I'm going to show you how RevGen Hub can take the pain out of content creation and social media so you can spend less time writing and more time growing your business. But first, let me share a few client stories. So this is Troy. He was on the video from Min Repairs, a busy electrical marine business in Queensland, Australia. Electrical whiz, that's what he is, especially when it comes to marine work. But he wasn't exactly a social media guru. And before RevGen Hub, his clients saw him as just another repair service. After we started strategically creating and posting content that highlighted his expertise and experiences, everything changed. Now, his business exploded, growing by 15 to 20%. He became the go-to expert in his field, and now he's treated with the respect and admiration he deserves. And he's also, as you heard in the video, got a newfound sense of pride in himself and his business. Then there's Joe, you also heard, passionate founder of 10K Heroes. He's a charity based in the US. They raise funds for kids battling cancer. Joe's got a heart of gold, but his schedule was packed and he needed content fast for the big fundraising event. We jumped in, and after just a few meetings, we had 3 months of social media content lined up, ready to go, automatically scheduled across all his platforms. The result, they raised $55,000 in one night. Now, can you imagine the impact that'll have on those kids' lives? So also, there's Kendall and her husband Ty. They own a pressure cleaning business in Victoria. These two are pros at blasting away grime, but marketing and content creation, not really, it's not their speciality. With RevGen Hub, they were able to ditch the social media headache and focus on their business, even when they were on holidays, as Kendall said, and the social media was still firing on all cylinders, bringing in leads. And that's obviously the beauty of automation. Now, these are just a few examples of busy business owners who have transformed their business with smart content strategies. They're experts in their fields, but didn't have time or skills for the content creation or social media. They made a decision to focus on what they do best and let us handle the rest. Now, the world has changed a lot since AI content creation exploded. While churning out content is easier than ever, it's also created a challenge. We've got information overload. Now, recent study by Demand Metric reveals content consumption has tripled since 2010, which is crazy. But here's the kicker, right? Research from Microsoft shows our attention spans have shrunk to a mere 8 seconds. And I can be probably guilty of some of that. Now, imagine a crowded marketplace where everyone is shouting the same generic message. It becomes virtually impossible to be heard. So this is precisely what's happening in the content landscape. Businesses are flooding the market with generic content, making it incredibly difficult to stand out. So how do you cut through all the noise and really connect with the people you're meant to serve? It's simple. Be yourself and let your personality shine through. So being yourself isn't just a cliche. It's like your superpower. It's about you going beyond the surface and sharing what truly makes you, your unique story, your struggles, your triumphs. Like those are the things that connect with people on a deep level. Now think about the clients you've helped, the transformations you've witnessed, the lessons you've learned, obstacles that you've overcome. Like that's your story. That's what makes you special, and it translate and to translate those powerful experiences into content that truly resonates. Now, I'll be honest, I used to struggle with this. I had all these great ideas, but getting them down on paper in a way that would actually grab people's attention, like forget it, like just terrifying. So like any good entrepreneur, I built my own way out of the problem, and that's how RevGen Hub was born. And as I started sharing it, I realized something amazing. I wasn't alone. So many brilliant entrepreneurs are a little tongue-tied when it comes to marketing ourselves. We know we have something special to offer, but getting that across, it's tough. And at first I was scared to admit I wasn't a natural writer. I've got dyslexia and on the spectrum, and I thought people would judge me because of that and I'd lose trust. But the opposite happened. And when I opened up, it was like this floodgate opened, and so many entrepreneurs said, me too, I can't express myself. And that's why I don't post much online. And that's why we created RevGen Hub. It's not about sounding like everyone else. It's about capturing your unique voice, your passion, your expertise. It's about giving you the time and the tools to focus on what you do best, while we help you create content that connects, educates, and obviously converts. And as one of our clients, Joe, put it, RevGen Hub RevGen Hub helps you be you more and helps you do what you're trying to do better. Bit of a mouthful. We live in an age of skepticism. People are tired of fake smiles, empty promises, and they crave genuine connection. And your authentic self is your strongest marketing tool. It's what draws people in and keeps them coming back for more. Like as Steve Jobs launched Apple's Think Different campaign, it wasn't about fitting in. It was about celebrating those who dared to be different and who dared to stand out and change the world, really. Now, most of us started our business because we have fire in our belly, we have a passion, a dream, something that not only pays the bills, but also makes a real difference in people's lives. But here's the real question. How do you get our ideal clients to see the amazing value we offer and want to work with us? And being real is crucial, like sharing your story, letting your true colors shine, but it's only half the equation. To truly light the same fire in your clients, you need to understand them deeply. So think of your audience as more than potential customers, the real people with dreams, hopes, fears, and they're just like you, really. Businesses that truly understand their clients outperform their competitors by a landslide. Like we're talking 80%. And so how do you get to know your audience beyond the surface level? So dig deeper into their values, their beliefs, lifestyles, what keeps them up at night, what are their unspoken needs, what are they secretly yearning for, even if they haven't admitted it to themselves. And when you tap into those hidden desires, you can craft messages that hit home, that speak directly to their heart and mind. And that's the kind of connection that turns curious followers into raving fans who can't wait to work with you. And third, create content with value. It's not enough to just create content. It's got to be packed with the good stuff. Remember your audience, right? Your potential clients, they're drowning in information every single day. So when you show up with something genuinely useful, something that actually helps them instead of just another sales pitch, you're like a breath of fresh air in a stuffy room type of thing. Now, how do we do that? How do you create content that's so irresistible they can't help but pay attention? Well, share your expertise. I know you're brilliant at what you do. You've got years of experience, unique insights, and a whole toolbox of strategies. But don't be afraid to share that. Like give them practical tips, insider secrets, the kind of stuff that you can't get anywhere else type of thing. And become the go-to expert, not just another salesperson. You also tell stories. Facts are great, but stories are what stick. Like share your client success stories, you know, the transformations, the breakthroughs, the aha moments. Like share your story, the struggles, the triumphs, what drives you. Like stories connect us, they make us feel something, and that's what builds lasting relationships. The other thing is show, don't just tell. We're very visual creatures. A beautiful image, a powerful video, those can convey so much more than words alone. So bring your message to life, use visuals to illustrate your points, showcase your personality, and make your content pop. Remember, it's not about being the loudest voice in the room, it's about being the most valuable. And finally, consistency is key. So creating great content is awesome, but consistency is what really delivers results. So imagine this, every time someone in your target market needs a product or service, your business is the first one that pops into their head. Like that's the kind of top of mind awareness that turns casual visitors into raving fans. And the research backs it up. Like customers are 80% more likely to buy from a brand they trust. Companies with a consistent brand see a 33% higher return on their investment. And consistency isn't just about posting every day. It's about creating a vibe, a look, a feel that people like instantly recognize as your brand. It's all about being, well, it's not, you don't have to be perfect either. Like it's about being persistent. Like small, consistent steps will lead to big results over time. Now, one of our clients in the building supply industry told me that people think they're a massive company with a whole marketing team behind them because of the consistent content we've been putting out for them. Now, they even landed a $70,000 project recently, and they believe it's because they're seen as the industry leader now. Now, I know some of you might be thinking running a business is already a juggling act. Creating content feels overwhelming, and now I'm telling you there's even more to it. Now, how on earth do you find time to figure all this out? Now, trust me, there is a solution, and you don't need a marketing degree. I'll show you how to do it quickly, easily, in just a minute. So how do you create unique content that really makes you stand out and attracts your ideal clients? It's tough because you've got to think about so much. There's your story, your business, your products or services, what value you provide. Then there's your clients' needs, their dreams, desires, challenges, and so much more. And I know it can get overwhelming trying to juggle it all, but that's about to change. Let me share a quick video that will show you just what's possible when you combine your brilliance with the power of RevGen Hub. The first person is LinkedIn expert Adam Houlihan from Prominence Global with more than 30,000 followers. Adam was sharing RevGen Hub live on a webinar with his audience. And the second person is our client Joe from 10K Heroes.
Just in external AI. Now, we test and measure lots of these things. You know, some of them are okay, some of them are rubbish. There's never been anything so far where I've gone, wow, this is really, really good. Up until now, the guys at RevGen Hub have developed this tool. Lots of AI tools that will kind of just jump into, say, ChatGPT and regurgitate its stuff. The next version of this is where it kind of learns your voice and learns how to do things the way you like it. And this is by far the best one I've seen.
RevGen doesn't feel like anything else. Feels like it's written by a human, and the human intention is in it. So on point. It's just head and shoulders above everything else that's out there. Everything else feels like it's written by a robot.
Yeah, it's humbling to hear how RevGen Hub is helping people find their authentic voice and connect with their audience. And that's the real beauty of RevGen Hub. It's not just about AI doing the heavy lifting, like that's handy. It's about showcasing the real you in a way that's simple and effective. Now, in just 5 minutes by answering 4 simple questions, RevGen Hub gets to know your style, personality, and the essence of your business. Dives deep into your understanding of your ideal clients with advanced market research. Then using sophisticated storytelling algorithms, it crafts your brand story and creates a powerful emotional connection with your audience. The result? Premium, personalized content tailored to your brand and audience, generated in minutes. Now, the content feels like you wrote it, but without the hours of agonizing over every single word. Now, no more sacrificing your precious time on content creation when you could be serving clients or developing new products or just having some well-deserved me time. But let's be real for a minute. As a business owner, your plate is already overflowing between clients, running your business, and trying to have some sort of work-life balance. It's easy to feel like there's just not enough time in the day. And even if you love writing, let's face it, life happens. We all have those weeks where everything piles up or unexpected events throw us off track. Wouldn't it be amazing to write only when you feel like it, not because you have to? But here's the thing, you shouldn't have to choose between serving your clients and building your online presence. There is a smarter way to do both. Are you ready to hear it? Raise your hands if you're ready to hear it. Yes. Excellent. Hand over your social media to us. Or just kidding, and kind of. Look, I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of tech jargon or complicated processes, but what I'm going to show you is how we transform that content chaos you're feeling into a smooth, effortless system. Now, imagine having a month's worth of captivating content. I want you to imagine it right now, like it's 3 months done, ready to go at a click of a button. Posts that sound just like you, connect with your ideal clients, and build your authority, all while you're out there serving clients or taking a well-deserved break. Now, this family-run rendering business has been around for 2 decades. They knew social media was important, but who has time for that when you're running a busy business? Now, imagine their faces when I showed them a content calendar filled with 3 months of engaging posts all ready to go. Literally, their jaws practically hit the floor. Content headaches gone. Brainstorming, creating, and scheduling. We handled it all. Their reaction? Just sign me up. So this is 10K Heroes social media calendar in May. They were in the middle of planning the big fundraising event. Things were hectic. Now, they needed to make a splash on social media to get people excited and donating. Now, we crafted a daily content calendar. Founder Joe told us it was like Christmas every day, watching the posts go up, seeing supporters get excited and share the content. Now, with the content fully handled, they were able to focus on the event and end up raising $55,000. But more importantly, right, can you imagine feeling like the feeling of knowing that you're making a difference in the kids battling cancer? Now, after the event wrapped up, we scaled back to posting a few times a week to keep them top of mind and ready for the next big push. Now, let's face it, social media feels like a noisy party, everyone's shouting, buy my stuff. But what about the people who want more than just a sales pitch? Like, that's where we come in. Imagine this, instead of just shouting about amazing products, services. You're offering people helpful tips and advice. You're becoming the go-to expert in your field. Take our pool fencing client, for example. They're the real deal when it comes to building high-end fences. But instead of just posting pictures of their beautiful work, we've created content that's actually useful. We're talking installation checklists, how-to guides, and tips on choosing the perfect fence. By positioning them as the fencing gurus, we're not just selling fences, we're helping them build trust and loyalty. It's a win-win. The client knows his stuff when it comes to pool fencing, but he's also smart enough to recognize that his time is way better spent building those fences rather than creating content. Now, imagine this for a second. You spend an hour with us sharing your passion, your expertise, how you help your clients, and in return, we hand you the keys to months of social media content that speaks directly to your dream clients. Content that showcases your brilliance, builds trust, and positions you as the go-to expert in your field. Now, how awesome would that be? What would you do with all that extra time? Now, we've been talking a lot about how our done-for-you service can free up your time and focus on what you love, but I get it, some of you are hands-on, you're passionate about your business, and you might want to dive into the content creation process yourselves. If that sounds like you, I've got some specials, a special install. I host training sessions where we roll up our sleeves and master the art of AI. Content creation will walk you through the creating everything from social media posts to persuasive emails that get results, insightful blog articles that establish you as an expert, and success stories that build trust, all using RevGen Hub's incredibly intuitive platform. Now, we have some volunteers, and I was just wondering if I can get, if Jenny from She Leadership is here, if she could unmute, and I will, is Jenny there at all?
Hi, Scott. Oops.
Hey, Jenny, how are you?
I'm sorry. We're sharing a room here, so there's a bit of an echo. Sorry about that.
Before I start, are you okay if I
Oops.
share your content, what we've created for you with the group?
Yeah, that's fine.
Excellent. Now, we haven't met you before or anything like that. This isn't, you answered the 4 questions yesterday, that's right?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So what I'm going to do is I will share my screen. Just one second. And what I'm about to show you is the content. Let's double check. Okay, can you see the She Leadership on the screen there?
Not yet. Yes, now I can. Yeah.
Excellent. If you want to just have a little bit of a read through that and everyone else have a bit of a read, if it's not your content, it probably isn't going to, well, I won't say anything while Jenny's reading.
I actually read through this a little bit yesterday and then earlier today.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your thoughts on the content that it created?
You know, one of the most interesting things, because I've recently had a conversation with my daughter around how to use prompts in ChatGPT for her law assignment. Yep. And one of the questions I had in my mind was this question around inference, which was actually answered in some of the testimonials that you played at the beginning. So it's really interesting. It's very hard to see yourself sometimes. And when you're in business, you're new, you're still trying to figure everything out. That can be even more complicated. So the long answer to your very short question was, I really like the fact that I could answer 4 very simple questions and my answers weren't very long, and that it was able to produce this as a result. So really being able to get to the heart of what I'm about, what my business is about, and articulate that in such a comprehensive format was really kind of mind-blowing.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'll just show you one of the, so what just everyone knows, and I'll get a bit of an overview in just a sec. We've got some other volunteers as well, but what it does is by answering the 4 questions, it brings you into a dashboard and you create some content, but it also it creates topics for you. So here are 40 topics that it'll create for you, and maybe have a read of those too, Jenny, just to see what, and so these are topics. So instead of you having to try and come up with different ideas, you can create a topic, or it creates 40 for you. And then you can, if you wanted to get more, you can just generate 10 more topics and it'll do 10 more. But were you able to, can you read some of those? And are they types of topics that you think your target audience would like to hear about, or you'd like to share content on?
Absolutely. And in fact, I have a notepad right beside me. I'm trying to make a list of the 10 topics I would talk about. So I didn't realize this was here, obviously.
I'll send you a copy with all this in a document for you so that you won't have to worry about that.
All right. But yeah, like there was one in here about going beyond awareness, which is a big thing for a lot of people who've done millions of personal development courses and still can't shift, where they're stuck. So yeah, it's right on point in that sense.
Excellent. And I want you to hang around, but I'm going to show some of the other parts of the tool with one of the other volunteers, if that's okay. But thanks so much, Jenny, for your.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is Leanne here, who's got the book launch next week?
Yes. Hi, Scott.
Hi, how are you going?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. I'm going to jump straight to the topics for yours because I've got them set up here. Look at some of these topics here and tell me what your thoughts are on some of those as for topics for content.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're right on point. Yep.
And we haven't met or spoken before, have we? Like you just answered the
No. No, we haven't.
Excellent. So what I'll do here is we can go into, just make sure I'll go here and we'll go have a look at view content. And this will have a few samples as well. So I don't know if you were able to, if you saw any of these last night or whatever, or today, but have a read of those and let me know your thoughts.
I think we're on Jenny, Scott.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, let me.
You're right.
Yeah, sorry. Just one second. Well, it must have, when I've clicked on that other screen, it's gone back to Jenny's one. Just one moment. I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay, so that was actually the dashboard. I'll go back to that in just a sec, but maybe just have a read of these.
Okay.
Thoughts are on those, Leanne.
All right.
And as we've got a few examples here, they are different, like different lengths, but just as examples as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely talking about what Live Legacy Now is about.
And it's not necessarily going to create it all where you don't need to do some editing and stuff. And this is, again, straight out of the box with approximately, say, I'm not sure how long you answered for, but you can do up to 5 minutes audio on each of the questions.
Right.
So you can put more content in, and you can do up to 100 pages of text if you put it in via text. So the more content you put in, the more that it'll grab it for you. I'll just go back to the dashboard so we can get a bit of an idea for people who are just watching from the outside. So what happens is when you set up an account, you come in here to craft your brand. And when you come in to craft your brand, you'll come in here and you'll be given some instructions. You just click the get started, and there's 4 very basic questions about, well, when I say basic, they're quite powerful questions, but they're questions you'll know the answers to because they're about you, not about your marketing and things like that. And then once you've created the brand, you can come in here and click generate content, which is what I did just then. And then if you're wanting to see what your topics are, you can come over here to manage topics. And this isn't really an explanation as much as just a quick overview. We also have a resource hub here. You can click on that and that'll take you through and it'll give you prompts to help you do we have a personalized chatbot as well. So I'll quickly show you how that works. So you click on the personalized chatbot, you come into here, and if you're wanting to just quickly create content really quickly, you could click the first step, which is step 1, and it'll automatically create a blog, like a bit of a not a blog that you're necessarily going to post, but it'll come up with a blog topic. It'll write about it, and there's a reason that we're doing that. We want to have 6 questions that we want the target to answer for the target audience, and it's showing you what they are there. And then off the back of that, it'll bring the topics up and it'll do a bit of a description, and then but you can ask it in here. If you run that topic, you could say, hey, could you run an event that's coming up on Thursday, give it the details, tell it how long the event's going for. Then once it's created the event, ask it to write email campaigns for that particular event, and it'll do it to that particular target audience as well at the same time, without you having to know what a prompt is or any of those particular things at the same time. And then if I click step 2, just this will be one of the last bits on here for this particular part. It'll now create topics or the topic, it'll create topic ideas for the blog above. So it's showing here that week 1, it'll give 5 steps to uncover your business's why and transform your outlook, interview with a legacy builder. So it's giving you ideas on what topics you could do off the back of that blog. So it's pulling it apart into multiple ways. And then you can come over here and then click create 7 Facebook posts, and it'll do it off the back of that as well. So that's, we have one more person. Thank you so much, Leanne. Is there anything?
I mucked around in there for a while this afternoon, and it was incredible how much content can be created so quickly.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
Is Anita here?
Yes, I am. Hi, Scott.
Hi, are you okay if we share yours as well?
Sure. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, your standout careers, aren't you?
Yes.
Excellent. Now I'm going to just shut these other ones down just so it doesn't override it. I'm going to go back here. Hopefully it'll stay. No, it hasn't. Sorry, just one second.
I've got it open on my screen.
You have it on your screen? Well, what
Yeah.
can you share with everyone what your thoughts are? Like, what's your thoughts on the
Well, I'm really amazed, actually. I got the invitation this afternoon to try this out. Without any thought or preparation, I jumped on, and I, off the cuff, didn't know what the questions would be, of course. And as you said, there are things about you. So I sort of rambled on for a few minutes for each question and was pretty amazed by what it produced. So really impressed. And really intrigued with the next steps that you've just shown in terms of the scheduling, the content, coming up with headings and topics. And I'd be really interested as well to know, and I'll explore this further, how to get the images in there, because one of the things that I find time consuming with content creation is putting graphics together.
Yes.
And I have a graphic designer. I've torn my hair out with Canva. I've tried that a few times, but getting the content in there so easily is really impressive. And it made me think, if I can do that in a matter of minutes, imagine if you actually really fed it some, content, like content from my website. So I can see that this has got a lot of potential. Looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and you're spot on when it comes to putting more content in. The beauty of it is some people can put in like a sentence to try and trick it to go, well, I'm not going to put much in it, and it'll still generate a really good. It'll sound a lot like you, and yeah, so. You're spot on. And putting in the images, there's so much of what you said there, and I'm conscious of time, but I would say the beauty of what we do is we put everything into a calendar with all the images and everything, so that when you're approving it, often you've done the editing and the images, and we do all of the hard yards. And ideally, we'd like to put in 3 months worth of content in one, so that it's all evergreen stuff that you're always going to want to go out there. That's about your brand, and then allows you to come in and put live ones on that you're doing, or you might be at some event and you want to post about it or something like that, and it doesn't seem out of context anymore because you've got some good structure with the content for that. So
thank you.
All right, I'm going to stop. Am I sharing, or no one sharing?
I was
sharing. You were sharing. Oh, sorry, I've got multiple screens here. So yeah, I'm just going to get Neil to. Excellent. So that's just a glimpse of how RevGen Hub can transform your content creation process. Thank you so much for the volunteers. Remember, it's not about having it perfectly polished content, because Often it will need a little bit of editing, but there's so much heavy work's been done. It's about having the content that obviously sounds like you, going out there consistently so you can focus on what really matters. Before we wrap up, I want to tell you about Heather. She's a hypnotherapist, and she's incredibly talented, passionate about helping her clients, but content creation, that used to feel like it was an overwhelming burden, constantly demanding of her time and energy. And even the thought of writing workshops modules filled her with dread. So she'd spend hours staring at a blank screen, feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. It got so bad that even she stopped running workshops altogether and thought of creating content was just too much. Then she discovered RevGen Hub and everything changed. And suddenly these creative blocks disappeared, ideas flowed effortlessly. Like, she wasn't creating just engaging content for social media. She was developing an entire workshops on the content helped to generate. So Heather's story is unique, or isn't unique, sorry. We hear it all the time from entrepreneurs who finally feel empowered to share their message with the world without the stress and overwhelm. And that's what I want for like each of you guys. So we've pulled back the curtain on the content struggle, the endless hours spent crafting posts, and then obviously loading them as well. There's the creating them and then the loading it. And just so you know, we're doing both. We do both. We're not just creating, but we help you load it too. So the frustration of trying to stand out in a noisy online world, the nagging feeling that you're not reaching the right people. So we talked about a different reality. Have a consistent stream of captivating content that actually sounds like you, posts that resonate with your dream clients, showcase your expertise, no more dreading about what to post, and reclaim your evenings and weekends knowing your social media is running on autopilot instead of running the midnight oil. So you become the go-to authority, the trusted expert that clients seek out instead of just feeling like another voice. So that's the power of RevGen Hub. We've seen it transform businesses time and time again, and clients who once felt overwhelmed and frustrated are now attracting their high-paying clients effortlessly. So they're saving hours each week, reducing stress and building a reputation that sets them apart. Now, let me paint a picture of how effortless this can be. Imagine spending just 1 hour with us, sharing your story, your expertise, how you help your clients and their problems. And in return, we hand you the keys to months of captivating social media content ready to go. It's like having your own personal marketing team dedicated to amplifying your voice and attracting your dream clients. So think about the possibilities, the new clients, the exciting collaborations, the freedom to focus on what you love most. And that's exactly what happened for my client, Jason. A couple of months ago, Jason spent an hour with me sipping coffee while I did all the work. At the end of the hour, he reviewed it, gave me the green light to publish, and all 3 months of content was there. So just recently, one of his mates, called him and said, whatever you did for Jason, I want you to do it for me. So you might be wondering, this all sounds great, but how does it actually work? Now, it's simple. We've got 4-step process that will transform your social media from a headache to a lead generating machine. Step 1, let your AI work its magic. Answer 4 questions on RevGen Hub. That's it. You can even talk to it if you prefer. Just hit the audio button. Our AI is incredibly smart. It'll pick up on your style, personality, figure out what makes your business unique. It also digs deep into what your ideal clients want and need, so you can create content that resonates with them. It's like having a dedicated copywriter who knows your business inside and out. Step 2, let's strategize. We hop on a Zoom call. We'll ask a lot of questions about you, your business, and your clients, and we'll fine-tune your goals, craft a content strategy that speaks directly to your ideal clients and makes sure we're hitting all the right notes to attract those clients that you're meant to serve. And think of it as like a brainstorming session with your own personal marketing expert. And step 3, we create content that turns visitors into clients. Our team of content experts takes the AI's brilliant ideas and polishes them into posts that sound just like you and connect with your audience. We'll craft content that showcases your expertise, shares your story, and speaks directly to the hearts and minds of your ideal clients. It doesn't just inform, it transforms. And step 4, review, approve, and schedule. You'll always be in the driver's seat. We'll send you the content for your approval, and once you give us the thumbs up, we'll handle the rest. We'll schedule and post your content in the best times to reach the most people. So even when you're busy with clients or taking that much needed holiday, your content is working for you, attracting dream clients 24/7. Now picture this, you're finally free to focus on your passion, your business. Meanwhile, your social media is working tirelessly in the background, building your authority, attracting dream clients, and even sparking collaborations as you never dreamed possible. With RevGen Hub, you can step into your role as the go-to expert, making a real difference in your clients' lives without sacrificing precious time. Now, you might be thinking, that kind of service must cost an arm and a leg, right? Well, yes, but it would traditionally, but we're making this super accessible for you. Our done for you service is $4.95 a month with a one-time setup fee of $14.95. And for that, you get all your social media content created and automatically posted for you. No more stressing about what to say or how to say it. Plus, you'll have 2 strategy sessions with me personally to make sure we're laser focused on your goals. And you'll get full access to RevGen Hub, so you can use it to create other types of content whenever you want, like emails, ebooks, blog posts, you name it. And if you sign up through Nick, we'll waive the $14.95 setup fee. Wow, that is very generous. That's very generous. Okay, so just $4.95 a month. Wow, that's very cool. So some of our clients have covered their entire year's fees with just one new client. They landed through RevGen Hub content. Now, how many new clients would you need? We can talk about that in the onboarding session. Now, for those of you that like to get your hands on and try out things for yourselves, we have a 7-day free trial. No credit card required. Super easy. Just answer a few questions about the business, create an account, and you can start creating all kinds of content, social media posts, blogs, emails, about us pages, you name it. Think of it like a ChatGPT, but it's trained on your specific business information. So no more repeating yourself or explaining your business from scratch every time you want to create something. To start your free trial, you can scan the QR code on the screen. Or Nick, can you please share the free trial link in the chat too? And yeah, any questions?
Yeah, Scott, hi, it's David here. If you got a minute, I was just wondering when you post the content up, where do you post it and who does it reach exactly?
Well, we can post it across, off the top of my head, I'll have to double check the channel. Are you meaning in terms of what social media channels do we post it to? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
if you're managing it.
Yeah, so we'll do it on Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can do LinkedIn Business, LinkedIn Personal. There's also Twitter, X, TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest. But with TikTok and YouTube, they require video content, and we don't create video content. But if you have it, we would post it across that. So that's the platforms we can post it across, and we can do all of them all at once. So if some people want to have the same post going across all, as long as it fits within the criteria. And then in terms of the audience, it's ideally it'll be going to your target audience. So what space are you in? What industry?
At the moment, online tea retail, but getting into coaching, and I think it'd be more relevant for the coaching stuff.
Yeah. So when you answer the 4 questions, I didn't do it on the example, but we can identify what your target audience is and go what their pains. If like we do a full analysis of what it is. And then if you go, yeah, but Scott, I only want to target men who are between 40 and 50, who are going through a divorce, who have 3 kids, we can then create the content and say, hey, this is our target audience specifically, and then it will create content specifically for that particular audience.
Yeah, it is pretty specific. So yeah, that'd be good. Okay.
Scott.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, good question.
You there, Scott?
Yes.
Hi, Paul Kennedy here. That was amazing. Are you able to also send it out to somebody's CRM?
What do you mean?
So I've got a CRM with a whole lot of contacts on there, 10,000, and supposing I wanted to do what you're suggesting and send it to my database, basically.
Yeah, we would love to have a chat with that, Paul. Yes, for sure. That would be. Are you in terms of giving this as an offer to them so that they would be able to do it? Is that what you mean?
No, not really. Just essentially what you're talking about, whether it be LinkedIn or Facebook. My target audience are my contacts, and my contacts are in my CRM. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I think we would definitely be able to create content that would be able to go like emails and things like that, for sure. And like behind the scenes, we've got a stack of recipes. So we've got recipes on how to build a course. We've got recipes on how to do nurturing email campaigns. We've got, if you've got the CRM, you might have it, I'm just assuming you might have it tagged with different people from different countries or different industries. You could certainly build it so that it was very unique for that particular niche or target demographic.
I'm just thinking it through. In fact, presumably you could send it, or you or I could send it to my database and actually put a link into perhaps LinkedIn. So it goes via, you put it on LinkedIn, but you specifically get it in front of my contacts.
Yeah, there's yeah, it's a great, it's yes, we certainly could. And think of it also too, is that the post that goes out, we've got a client at the moment as a coach, and each day of the week is a different content. On the Mondays, a quote. On the Tuesday is a how-to, and the quote goes back to their website, but the how-to goes to a downloadable PDF on that particular item. Then the next day is a review, and it goes to their review page on their website. And then the next one is it's to sell their book. So each one of the days has a unique bit of content, and it's all color coded to match, so that there's a real structure within the content that goes out. And then it gives them that flexibility to go, hey, I'm on the way to the airport to speak at an event, and it's real quick, but it all intertwines really beautifully that way when there's that foundation there.
It's fine. Thanks very much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Anybody? I'm on the spectrum with dyslexia, and did really bad at English and had all the red marks. So it's really weird how AI has helped me create a tool based on my lack of, like, I'd spend 2 hours trying to write an email and I wouldn't know where to start, and I wouldn't be able to do the structure, and then the person wouldn't understand what I'd written when I sent it back to them. So I don't know if there's anyone on here raise their hand that can relate to spending too much time trying to just Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, there's and so by putting this out there, being able to even hypothesize ideas or see what it should look like has been really quite helpful for me.
Yes, I have a question. There's that echo again, Scott. Hello, it's Jen. I actually see the potential for this for someone I'm working with who's in the publishing game. And I was just curious, with the content creation and looking to convert that content into actual clients, what kind of lead time do you normally suggest for business owners?
It's such a great question. I'll give you a couple of examples. We've got Troy, who does electrical motors, and he has an okay website, but because we're answering the questions that his target audience wants, and we've brought in the fact that he's an ex-Black Hawk helicopter mechanic, because he's ex-Black Hawk helicopter mechanic and taken his knowledge from the aviation industry into the marine industry, it's a very blokey orientated, where you're getting your electric motor fixed for your boat. And because a lot of men love that SAS Black Hawk type thing, each person who rings him now, because we post once a week or once a month about his Black Hawk, they're like, I didn't know you worked on Black Hawks. That's every single person who rings him is saying, I didn't know you worked on Black Hawks. Now, we don't have a lead gen proof of concept, but he knows every single person who knows that is only knowing that because of the content that comes through. So he had a decent audience. So there's a lot of factors. One, how big the audience is. I think he has 3,500 followers. And then the other aspect is making sure, like, we've got a pool fencing guy, and he gets a lot of really good referrals, and he only needs one client a year to cover a couple of years worth of our service. So I said to him recently, he goes, I'm not too sure what's happening. And I said, look, you're getting really good referrals. The referral comes in, they read your content, and when they read the content, they go to your website. And I said, but you might find out that you're getting better on your quotes. And he goes, oh, you know what? The last 4 weeks, people have been ringing me saying, you're the most expensive, but we're still going ahead with you. He said, in the past, they'd ring and tell me and ask to reduce the quote price. And he goes, they've been ringing. And he goes, I don't know if it's because of that, but I think there's this strong correlation between he's showing up, he's putting a lot of content out there. He's got all these suppliers that think his business is going through the roof, and he's doing very well, but he's only added the cost of what it's cost to do me, but he's getting more industry-based people who are following him, like pool installers that are wanting to be associated with him, because then when they refer him, he already looks like he's doing a lot of good stuff. So I'm not sure if I've answered that question properly, but there's a lot of untangible things that aren't there, but we can also set up like a link thing to see where people are going. But did that help answer the question though?
No, yeah, I mean, it does, in a sense that, I guess that there are a number of different variables that are involved there.
Yeah.
So just to switch just slightly, I did see that there is a target audience feature on the website as well. Can you say a little bit about that? Like, how accurate is that? Because a lot of people in small business in particular will say, oh, my business is for everyone. So
yes, and that can be dangerous in itself, trying to say that your business is for everyone. I'm going to, it probably, this is for, actually, your business is She Leadership. Let me just quickly do a quick example of what that would look like so you can get I know we're running, oops, but it'll do oh, I haven't shared my screen. Let me share my screen. Because it's a brilliant question that I love, and I think there's a number of people on here that would understand the why is my hang on just one second. Okay, so I'm going to just put in some code in here right now. I haven't been very specific at all because it's based on your 4 questions, but what it's going to do is, and I've just quickly grabbed it, but it's going to do niche, women's leadership and personal development. And it's going to do target audience, big promise, results, time frame, public enemy number 1. And it's going through all of those particular things. So it'll line them all up. And then if you're not, there's a thing called the AIDA principle, where it's agitate, inform, can't remember the D and the, but anyhow, it's like you grab these elements to put into it. So even though we haven't been very specific with your target audience, this is what it's already captured about your target audience. I'll just zoom in so you can see, like big fear, the fear that you will never break free from invisible patterns that hold you back. Big truth, freedom and fulfillment are achievable through a targeted system that addresses the physical, emotional, mental. And now, do these resonate with you about?
yes, absolutely, especially that last one you just read out, for sure.
Yeah, so it goes through and does this in a lot of detail just off the back of this. It's doing that in the background automatically. So it's automatically doing that. But if you wanted to go, well, I want to target, say, women in the C-suite thing that have got kids that are taking them to preschool, you would add that into the beginning before this, and then it would create specifically for that. And then you create content for that separately.
Mm-hmm.
But it will automatically generate it based off, without any interference. It would be creating content in along these lines.
Right, excellent, thank you.
And we've got one other hand up there with Mark.
Just thanks, Nick. I popped it in the chat, but how does it humanize the post, Scott? I use AI religiously even for chat. I don't use Google anymore, and I've trained it to understand me, but I still have to really check the humanality of it. How does your system check the humanality? And then how do you track your analytics, such as, i.e. LinkedIn analytics?
Yeah, good question. In terms of the personal stuff, without going into the IP behind it, there are ways that, like, we have there's a lot of word salad in some of the stuff that's come up tonight, like the stuff that you would have seen. But there are ways that we can create content that reduce the word salad, but they target the pains, the fears and the desires of the particular person in your type of tone. So it reduces the language and the words needed, but it hits the pain points or the desires or the outcomes with the least amount of words, but it uses your words in those least amount of things. Like it's, we've only got a minute, but there is some prompts that we put in and we go, hey, these are on the ban list. This is this is and this, and then we get it to reflect back to the author what the author's saying.
Sure.
Yeah, it took me a long time to come up with that particular process.
Feature. Yeah.
But certainly.
So what about the analytics side of things? How do you draw the analytics from that?
We have we have analytics on our platform, and we can see how many shares and how many likes and all that type of stuff. But I off the top of my head, I'd be making it up, and I can't remember. Like our more recent client has he's been getting like 4 or 5 shares per post, and I'm not 100% sure. I haven't compared it to what he was doing previously, but he was only posting sporadically, and now he's posting 5 days a week. The goal is really be top of mind, because I think, as Nick was saying earlier, sometimes people are not even interacting with our posts, but we're staying top of mind when it's important, when we need to make that decision. So
yeah, cool. Thank you.
my pleasure.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think we've sort of come to the end of the time. That was an excellent session. And I think anyone that hasn't been on and tried it out, like, what is it, a 7-day free trial, as it's got? Yeah, go and do it. It truly is incredible. And particularly if you spend the time there to speak to it, and it'll take 5 minutes worth of content if you really do that. So have a think about what your business is, speak to it, and you'll get some real quality sort of output out of it. And it's interesting to hear, I think, Anita, who didn't actually have a lot of time to put into what she was feeding it, yet it still came out with some good quality content as well too. So just imagine what you can do if you just put a bit more thought in behind it as well too, without overthinking it. Of course, I think it's probably the key too, is it, Scott?
Yeah, and look, if anyone wants to answer the questions and then jump on a call with me, please do that, because it is pretty straightforward. But to some of the things, like, you can get it to go on, it can do some amazing stuff really quickly and easily. So if anyone wants to answer it and then jump on a call with me, I'd love to take them through and show them how it works as well.
Excellent. And actually, I didn't know, Scott, you were going to drop that $1,400 fee. So that was good. So thank you for that. And I think sort of just that opportunity to do that is well worth it. So let's give Scott a huge round of virtual applause for coming on today and sharing. I think this is a monumental piece of AI that you've created. It's one of the best I've seen, and I see a lot of tools as I'm profiling them. And I'm so grateful that you've come on today to show us through the tool you've created.
Thanks for having me. It was amazing. It's great being that there's not many Aussie ones out there at the moment. I think there's a lot of US-based ones, but it's cool to have an Aussie one out and amongst it all.
And I assume for our Kiwis, this will work for New Zealanders too, right?
Yeah, it should do, yeah. Absolutely.
Excellent. All right. Well, look, that is our show tonight. Thanks, Scott, for coming on, as I say. And again, do encourage everyone to jump on that link. The link is in the chat. In fact, I'll just get Lorena or James just to pop the link in again. Jump on, take it for a spin, have a look at it and see what you think. Nothing else, you get some content out that you really can use as well too. If you've enjoyed tonight as well and you'd like to watch bits of it again, or you think of someone else that you think might find this useful as well, it will be up on the Smash Go YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. If you're not a subscriber to that, our best thing to do is just to go there, subscribe, and click that little bell after you see the subscribe button, and you'll get a notification as soon as it's been uploaded there. So that link there is now in chat. The Facebook group link is in there. The Business Owners Smashing on Facebook group. So again, we've live streamed this onto Facebook as well too. So again, if you join the group, you can get the live stream instantaneously. Plus we'll pop all those apps and tools up there in that group as well too. Now is a great time to save the chat. So thank you, whoever it was that reminded me to ask you to save the chat. So you do that by clicking the 3 little dots on the top right-hand side. If you have an older version of Zoom, I think it's down the bottom, and you'll be able to click through to all of the links. You'll save all those. It will save to your computer. When you do click those 3 dots, it will come up and tell you probably for about 3 seconds where you saved it. Click on the link, and then it'll just open up for you, so you don't have to go hunting and searching for it. So once again, thank you, Scott, for coming on. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I hope you found it valuable and useful. And reach out to Scott if you've got any questions at all. Give the piece of software a good trial as well, too. As I say, it's one of the better ones that the best one that I've seen for content creation as well, too. Go and have a sensational night, and we will see you back here next week.